Hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review for Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 4, Episode 22, called Bad Connection. I wish my TV got a bad connection, so I had an excuse not to watch this episode, but then again, I would have OCD about not being able to watch the episode to do a review. Anyway, we picked up where we left off last week. MJ came to see Amara after her pop-up shop, and they get to going back and forth a little bit. So I'm just gonna say a little bit of the stuff that I took from the conversation. MJ is saying Amara's punani is for everybody, and Amara saying her punani is only for Alan, but Amara is Alan's Disney, as Scrappy would say, only for you, or is it for his other baby mamas too? Because from you say he got other kids, so he probably be doing them in DR while you here in America. But okay, we're gonna continue the conversation you're having with MJ, of course, yeah. They gonna be getting married. She tells MJ that. MJ says that Amara just be effing with trash man because he trash and Alan's trash and Amara's trash too. And Amara admits that yeah, it was a little effed up because technically MJ did introduce her to Alan, and then she ended up being with Alan, having kids by Alan. So she admits it was a little effed up and all that stuff. But oh well, life moves on, and MJ saying he would have never done none of that to Amara, and the way Alan treating her or whatever, being with her, he could do it better than Alan. He says that in the confessional, of course. But, nothing gets resolved. He tells her to have a good life, and then they separate, they part ways. And all I have to say here is, MJ's just jealous. He wish he could be in Alan's shoes. He wish he could have gotten Amara pregnant with 1, 2, 3 kids too. But unfortunately, MJ, that did not happen. So she ended up getting with homeboy Alan from the DR, and it's just that bygones be bygones. You said have a good life and stuff, and nothing's getting resolved. But at the end of the day, both of y'all was on 10 from the jump. So, okay, you did your interview. That's that. Just move on. Find you some girl that's going to love you for you. Hopefully you don't cheat on her. Hopefully she don't cheat on you, whatever the case may be. And just be done, because at this point, there's nothing much to say here. It's just, okay. There's nothing else to say. MJ, go about your own merry way. Amara, worry about your kids. Obviously, I know he popped up on you, but you started on 10 from the jump. So at that same time, there's still some underlying things there, in my personal opinion, for Amara. But whatever. I don't got time for this. We move on. Trick, he's doing his cooking show. He got another episode, of course. Suki is a guest host for this episode. She lets him know and everybody know that she's getting cosmetic surgery. And I guess she's going to be performing for the show. Okay. So she goes to the back to change. She calls K-Bill to come help her change. And I guess Trick sees that he's helping Suki. So he's like, oh, wait. You're supposed to have stylists for that. He's not supposed to be doing none of that for you. And I guess when they were talking, when Suki initially left, K-Bill was mentioning that, he has music out, and he's trying to do his own thing, and, he's not just trying to be known as Suki's boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever. So he's really trying to make a name for himself too. And when Trick saw that, I guess he was like, okay, here, bro, take my number. We got to do something about this, because you're not just going to be up in here just being her stylist and all this stuff. Like, nah. So, if anything, Trick is always going to stand up for the men and be like, men power, ain't no girl power over here. You're not going to be falling behind a woman. You're supposed to take charge. He didn't say all that. Okay, he didn't say all that word for word or nothing. I'm just paraphrasing his mindset in my person. Trick is just a very, I don't want to say sexist man, but, has very tendencies of what gender roles are. He has very strict guidelines, old school guidelines of gender roles. So, not saying he's racist. He's just very particular in how he thinks a woman and a man should act in a relationship. But okay, Suki gets a little offended when he gives K-Bill his number. What else is new? She's gonna get mad at the end of the episode, so whatever. We move back to Amara. She's driving home. She's still upset about MJ popping up on her. Says that she wishes that they could have had a civil conversation. Amara, you was the one who started 20 on 10. You was the one who was just like, what the are you doing here? I mean, granted, he was like, who you think you talking to? Which I thought was kind of rude too. But both of y'all was on some attitude type stuff. So having a civil conversation, if you wanted to have a civil conversation about it, you should have started off with, the pop-up shop is over. How, sorry you couldn't get nothing for, I don't know. But you started off with an attitude, so then that in turn gave him an attitude, and of course that was gonna put y'all in having an arguing match. But at the same time, I feel like regardless, you guys would have had an arguing match anyway, regardless, because it didn't seem like MJ was really coming there on good intentions, because what else is there to talk about? I mean, I don't know how long it's been since you guys broke up or whatever, but at this point, like, bro, you haven't been together for probably a couple years now. Homegirl already done got pregnant, went through a whole pregnancy, had the baby. Ain't nothing else to talk about here. You see where she lies. Come on. We don't, okay. But anyway, she's upset. So she FaceTimes Alan, lets him know everything that done went on. Alan's upset too. And first he's just like, well, MJ was never my friend. I was only friends with his brother. And that was 14 years ago. And, he's not, he's tight because, he's not going to have nobody just talking to his girl and all that stuff. And saying he's going to call his ass tomorrow. And, Amara's like, she don't want no drama, this, that. But it's like, I would assume you know how your man is, Amara. So you would know telling him this information is going to get him a little hot. So, of course, it worked. And she's like, no, let's just stay happy, positive vibes and stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be happy whooping that ass. So, now he going to call him tomorrow. My question is, I felt like during the pregnancy of Amara, she didn't really, when she tried to hit up Alan and stuff, he was really nowhere to be found, low-key, high-key. And it's just funny to me that he's just so willing to answer it now because she probably already forewarned him she was going to talk to him about MJ. And he's just so willing to be able to have the time to hit up MJ the next day right away. As someone that's so busy, it's like I would figure you would have to schedule that in, but it seems like he wanted to call him right that second, but he's like, no, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. So it was just we'll go more into that later on in the next couple scenes from now. But it's just very interesting. But before we go back to the whole drama with Amara and her two lovers, we get to Trina. She's still talking about Trina Day, trying to set it up. And Joy pops up. They talk about Trina Day. They talk about Joy's photo shoot, how Trick is still tricking. Joy then brings up Bobby. Trina says Bobby's full of drama and she doesn't need that energy nor distraction. But Joy does want him to be there on Trina Day. And Trina seems like she's not really with it at first. I guess they agreed to have a conversation with Bobby beforehand. But she agrees that, okay, Bobby, for the most part, could probably come because there ain't going to be no liquor on Trina Day. So that's cool. There was nothing else to take from that scene. We move right back to Alan. Okay, MJ, he gets a Skype Zoom call from his brother Joe. I guess Alan been blowing him up in the morning or whatever. And he's just like, I'm not going to be talking to you one-on-one. I'm going to make sure my brother's there with me. I don't know if it was for backup for MJ or for whatever the case may be. Joe just seemed like, I don't know why I'm in this, but of course, since MJ's my brother, I want to support him. But at the same time, like, I don't even need to be here. But they get Alan on the call and they're all talking a little bit. And of course, that kind of turns into a bickering match between MJ and Alan a little bit. Low-key, high-key, high-key, low-key. And MJ's saying that no, Alan was saying first that MJ used to cheat on Amara all the time. So him being with Amara now is MJ's karma. MJ is just like Amara used to cheat on him all the time. And I'm just like, okay, so it seemed like both y'all cheated on each other. Who started first though? Who started first? But um why I'm still just trying to understand like why is all this necessary? Like it's one thing if it was still fresh. It's one thing if you guys broke up yesterday and she's with Alan the next day. But like y'all haven't been together for a couple years now. She's been with Homeboy, and like I said, she got pregnant and went through a whole pregnancy. Have the babies. The babies, I don't know how old they were in this moment of this scene, but at this point, there's nothing like he's talking like it's still fresh. And MJ, go work on that healing because this is no, this is not it. But MJ said Amara done cheated on him, and Alan saying he respects Joe, but he don't got no respect for MJ. They go back and forth. Then Alan said what him and Amara had was over, and him and Amara's about to. Alan and Amara's about to get married. They have two beautiful kids, so he just needs to get over it. MJ was just like, well, they were effing in DR when Amara was in the DR for a little bit. No, sorry. Wait. When he said that, I was just like, okay, I'm trying to do the math here a little bit, and I'm like, how long was Amada and Alan together? So I don't know if that was overlappation, if that's a word I created. I don't know if they were overlapping anything, but I mean, if that's the case, MJ could just be saying it just to get under Alan's skin. But if that was the case, I mean, to be honest, I personally feel like all y'all be doing all y'all own stuff at all times. MJ said, or Amada says MJ cheated on her. He says Amada cheated on him. So they probably just did each other when they were not together. And with Alan, I just feel like he be doing his own things in the DR too. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm putting a honestly, let me keep it real. Let me keep it real. I don't put nothing past nobody nowadays because somebody somewhere doing some effed up shit somewhere, some way, somehow. Okay, so I really don't put nothing past nobody at this point. So if she were doing that, what else is new in this damn world? And if she's not, MJ, you just putting 20 on 10 because you just jealous that you ain't Alan and those babies ain't your kids. I don't know what else to say, but Alan, like I said, he just like MJ has to respect what him and Amara got going on. MJ like he don't gotta respect Sugar Honey Iced Tea. So then that's when Alan said MJ is gonna see him because they gonna take it to the streets. There's nothing that comes from that because then it goes to commercial for dramatic effect. So then when we get back from commercial for dramatic effect, we have K-Bill in the studio with Trick. Trick is listening to the song that K-Bill done stole from Rod Wave's producer because listen, while this song was playing, my husband was about to leave. I'm like, without like closing your eyes, without looking at nobody or anything on the TV, whose song does this sound like? He said Rod Wave. I mean, I should have named the song, and it is K-Bill's. Surprisingly, it is K-Bill's song. But I'm listening to the song, and I'm just like, this sounds like Rod Wave. So I don't know if K-Bill got Rod Wave's producer or whatever, but this sounds like a song by Rod Wave. So I don't know if he sampled a Rod Wave song or if he hit up Rod Wave and was just like, can I get this song? I don't, from you. I don't know. But it sounded like a Rod Wave song. So Trick said, oh, that thing go hard. It sounds like a song I done heard before. Of course it is, Trick, because it's one of Rod Wave's songs. Okay, I'm convinced he got it from somebody that has that. It's from one of Rod Wave's team people, some way, somewhere, somehow. But anyway, they get to talking a little bit about using their platform to make the world a better place, and both of them being locked up. And then they bring up Suki and how K-Bill puts his life on hold for Suki, always being there for her, but she's not really there for him. So then I guess that's when Trick goes into inviting uh, K Bill to one of his yacht parties, saying that he could bring Suk if he wants to, but K Bill was like, he ain't gonna do that. He said, nah, fam. He gonna go by himself. So from there, I'm like, oh yeah, this not gonna go well. I can already see it's not gonna go well. No way. No. And we see that from the previews for next week. So we'll see how that goes. But we get to Trina, Joy, and Bobby. They meet up. And Trina just explains to Bobby, listen, look, it's all about keeping it professional because, I'm not trying to make my reputation look bad by some mess always going on whenever I got something going on. And Bobby agrees. He said he apologized to Raymond. I'm trying to understand where, when, why, how did he apologize to Raymond, because last time they met up with Snoop, it didn't end off too well. So maybe it was a scene that we didn't see, which I doubt it. But he does apologize and takes accountability, says he needs to drink a little bit less liquor and shots, and Trina allows him to come to Trina Day. So they're all happy and cool again. So that's cool. We move on to it's the day of Shay's C-section. Her mom finally agrees to go with her. Shay's kind of scrambling around the house to get everything ready to go to the hospital. That's why they always tell you to pre-pack it before, because the day of you might be scrambling, you might forget a few things. So maybe they just did it for the TV show for this scene, but I'm like, you seem like you're kind of prepared for some things, and I'm pretty sure you read that you should probably pre-pack for your hospital visit time, whatever. So the fact that you weren't prepared, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna judge nobody at this point. Not on this show. I feel like you guys were probably just being dramatic for the show because they told you to do it, but for the most part, that's so easily accessible of what to pack before you go to the hospital to have the baby. But okay, I'm not gonna talk too much on that. I already said too much. I talked too much. But they get to go to the hospital. When they get there, Shay's crying. She's nervous about the C-section. She brings up that unfortunately, black women, they're the most to not be here physically in this world when they go through childbirth. So she is just a little bit nervous, but nothing to be nervous about because at this point, when she was there she had to be nervous, understandably so. But I'm talking about right now, because I already knew she had a baby. I'm like, I ain't worried about it, because she successfully had the baby. The baby looks beautiful, and she welcomed her baby girl, and her mama cuts the umbilical cord, so everything goes well. So that's why I'm like, I completely understand why you would feel nervous going in, but knowing how everything came out already, and then she already had the baby's doing good, I was like, I ain't worried about her. She did good. So we finally get to Trina Day, what we've been talking about for the past 34 weeks. This is episode 22. I could have sworn in part A of this season she was talking about Trina Day. So if I'm correct, we've been talking about Trina Day for 22 weeks. So we finally get here. Bobby and Raymond are still not on the best of terms, but they're keeping it drama free for Trina Day. And Trina receives a key to the city. And Trina cries. And I was like, oh my gosh, emotion. No offense, but Trina always just be looking so hardcore. And the only emotion she shows for the most part is just anger, stress, frustration. So the fact that she actually, let her tears drop, I was like, wow. That did pull at my heartstrings a little bit. I was like, wow, Trina really, really, showing emotion. So that was cute. And she gets a plaque in honor of her mom. So that was nice. And I believe even tonight is supposed to be the BET Hip Hop Awards. And I believe she's getting an Icon Award. If I'm wrong, I might be getting the name of the award wrong. But it's something immaculate more than the other regular awards for the show. I may be wrong. So if I am, I'm sorry in advance. But I could have sworn they said something about she's getting Ideal award tonight on the BET Hip Hop Awards, which I'll have in background noise while I make burritos tonight. But okay, so that was nice. And that's how we end off Trina Day. So hopefully we don't hear about Trina Day until next season, if they have next season. And lastly, in this last scene, we have Suki, her atrocious wig, and K-Bill. They go to Suki's cosmetic pre-op, and she's getting a BBL. Bill says she loves her butt the way it is. Suki was like, "Oh, he done told her she had a square ass," and then K-Bill was like, "No, I didn't. I said I love your square ass." So she's like, "Oh no, it's the same thing. That's not nice to say." Suki, I mean, you might just be dramatic, might be being, see, I can't talk, dramatic for the TV show. But if you really thought he was trying to say you have a square ass, I think he was just trying to say that figuratively, not literally. But then again, I can't take y'all serious because I know you just do antics for the TV show. So K-Bill loves her the way she is. He does not want her to get no type of surgery, but she's still going to get it anyway. I guess the pre-op goes well, and they're leaving. So then I guess he's making fun of her or something, since she already did like 10, 16, whatever operations. Then tries to be funny, saying she did something to her face. So Suki gets offended. She's like, oh, she'll never mess up her face. You know, this is her ancestor's face, so she's not going to mess that up. K-Bill admits in the confessional that he's just being petty because he thinks she just did something to her lips, but nothing to her nose or anything like that. But since she got upset, obviously she gonna hit below the belt, saying that he's fat, he got a good, this and that. So then they go back and forth, and she goes off on him, and she throws her shoes at K-Bill, telling him, you know, he could find another ride home, or Uber, Lyft, whatever. So he gets in there, and then Suki gets in her ride, talking about she gonna threaten that she gonna throw her new ring away like she did the last one. And that's where the episode ends. And at this point, I'm just like, this Suki is getting old for me. I like it when you happy with stuff. You know, I feel like I'm starting to see a lot of cracks in your confidence. I feel like she has quite a bit of insecurities. I understand a lot of people do. Heck, most of the world do. Everybody has insecurities some way, somehow. But for me, I just, in the first season that I seen her, she just seemed so full of positivity and great, and just trying to make her music and just do her and just be her authentic self. But ever since, I wouldn't even say, I don't know if it was K-Bill. But just in this whole season 4, part A and part B, it just seems like she's just negative. I understand she's stressed. I understand there's a lot of things going on. Heck, everybody got a lot of things going on in their lives. I just personally feel like she just always on one, always ready to cuss somebody out for something if she don't like something. Maybe it's just K-Bill. I mean, they're not together now, I don't believe. So maybe it was just K-Bill. I don't know what the real issue was, but from like all the arguments that they have, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work, and it didn't. So that was the end of the episode. Next week, listen, maybe I'll have more energy next week, but because it's just interesting to me that Marlon is the one that's saying, oh, I want a divorce. That's hilarious to me. I'm sorry, that is hilarious, because first off, you the one who did all the stuff to Flo, but Flo stuck beside you each and every time. You know, you would think it's Flo who wants to. It's just, okay, we will have to just wait till next week to get to that point. But I'm just, it's just, Marlon is the one asking the divorce. Wow, that's very interesting. Whatever, we'll wait for the next week. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment. What do you think about Suki's wig? I thought it was atrocious, but you let me know. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Married at First Sight, guys. Bye. Peace out. Until next time.